Marketing isn't really separate from your craft. It needs to be part, it's in service of it. So to be able to be responsible entrepreneurs, business owners, bosses, firm owners, it is actually our responsibility to market our services because we also are employers and we're responsible for our team. Welcome to the Architect My Business podcast. I'm Aya Schlachter, your host, founder and CEO of MGS Global Group. We provide architectural drafting and rendering services for busy firm owners and designers. From starting out solo to now leading a team of over 45 and growing, I've learned a thing or two about making a business thrive. Whether you're thinking of starting, already managing, or want to take your business to the next level, this podcast is for you. Each episode is packed with simple, actionable tips in leadership, people, marketing, processes, and of course, profit. I keep things real. Like you, I've got no time for fluff. This podcast is brought to you by MGS Global Group. Now, let's get into this episode. So, hi everyone. Welcome back to the Architect My Business podcast. I'm Aya Schlachter, your host. So, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about how to market your business. So, it's going to be a sort of a mini series, and over the next 3 episodes, I'm going to walk you through building a practical marketing strategy for your architecture firm from scratch. So, if you've ever said my work should speak for itself and you're not doing any marketing, this episode is going to challenge that idea. So, I don't mean to dim your talent, but we really need to give the audience what it deserves in terms of some marketing tools and strategies, especially now when the world is a little bit crazy. And I'm in the United States right now, and things are geopolitically unstable for now. But I'm optimistic about the future. So, in today's episode, I'm bringing up an important conversation that architects really need to focus on: why marketing matters for architects and why you should really promote yourself for visibility. So, first thing, let me ask you something. When someone brings up the topic about marketing or what's your marketing strategy, and if someone says, I don't have a strategy, my work speaks for itself, you're not alone. A lot of architects actually don't have a marketing strategy. They have a website, maybe an Instagram account, but no strategy behind it. And I really find it interesting about architects specifically because architects are smart, creative, highly skilled people. But when we start talking about marketing, they seem to see marketing as an expense. And honestly, it took me a while to understand, but I kind of do because people are extremely busy doing all the things that needs to get done just to finish a project. So marketing is another added layer to the mix, and it's a not, and it's non-billable. So most architects don't avoid marketing because they're lazy or don't care, but they avoid it because reason number one, they claim that the work is good enough, right? I know a lot of people, especially architects, have really strong portfolios, but that's not enough, right? And the belief is coming from arrogance. It's coming from a culture that's been built in the profession for decades. Like, you may have good work, but if you're not talking about your work, you're not creating content about your work, you're not marketing your work, you're not doing reels about it, no one is going to find you. I still see some architecture firms that have no photos of the firm owners. Now you need to be visible because people buy from people. I always say that. Second reason why architects don't matter is because nobody actually taught us how. So think back to architecture school, studio history, theory, technical drawing structures. We were taught all that, but there's no marketing, no business development, zero. So the gap really is an attitude, it's education. And the industry data confirms this. According to the 2026 Deltek Clarity Study, which I just read, the largest annual survey of architecture and engineering firms in North America. The study covers 896 firms. The number one business development challenge cited by 44% of firms was simply finding time to nurture client relationships. So it's not the lack of talent, not the lack of projects, it's time and knowledge. That really tells you everything you need to know about where the profession is headed at, right? And also where firm owners, especially the smaller firms, are thinking right now. It's really time. Reason number three, the term marketing feels wrong. For a lot of architects, marketing sounds like selling, right? Selling a product, and selling for a lot of us, even for me, it's still uncomfortable and sometimes maybe a little dishonest to sell, but It's like you're pushing something on people, but marketing is not really sales. It's actually brand awareness. And the last reason people say architecture is different, we don't have to market. Architects believe that their business is different. And in any ways, it is because we are like also artists because, architecture isn't just a product you can package and sell off at a shelf. It's really also a form of art. But so when a generic marketing strategy gets handed down to architects, it really doesn't work and architects tend to push it back. But honestly, that's understandable, right? So architects need to really be creative about their marketing strategy because it's true. We're not selling a product, we're selling art and a service. So I'm not just saying this as theory, I'm saying this from experience. I started my company, MGS Global Group. It's architecture drafting services. And as a solo founder in 2008, when my first daughter was born. And today, 2026, we're a team of 60 employees operating across 4 countries. And we serve over 150 architecture firms, including some Fortune 500 and publicly traded companies. So this was not always the case. In 2008, we survived the 2008 election. We also survived COVID. It was rough. Our pipeline was down to 10%. But a lot of really talented firms with strong portfolios, more than ours, people who have been in business more than we do, probably didn't make it through those years. Not because their work wasn't good, but because when things got hard, nobody knew who they were. They weren't marketing. So the reality is there is an urgency to really start marketing now. You don't want to market when your pipeline is down. It needs to be a continuous effort for your firms, especially the solopreneurs and the smaller firms from 1 to 5 employees. People are doing and multitasking all the time, but you really need to spend time marketing. And here's the urgency: 42% of firms now believe they risk losing market share within 2 years if they don't make meaningful progress in their digital presence. Right now, you need to have a digital presence, not only for your work, but firm owners. Firm owners, you need to be the primary person of influence in your company because there's so much AI right now. There's so much like, people are producing a lot of renderings through my journey and things are so beautiful. But what makes you stand out from all of that, right? It's your personality that needs to shine. I know it's really uncomfortable because it took me 6 years to get comfortable on camera, right? It's a struggle bus, I'm just going to say. But if you really want to succeed in this business, you need to really show your personality and your digital footprint has to be on point from your LinkedIn to your Instagram. If you have TikTok, that's even better. It's fun. So the window for marketing is really now. And I talk about this in one of my reels that I created. Like entrepreneurs also have to be content creators to survive in this world. So the reality is marketing in today's world isn't too hard, nor is it expensive. If you have a cell phone, iPhones are so powerful right now. Just create content, CapCut, you have all the tools to help you. It can be as simple as being a guest on a podcast. I have a resource for you. If you don't want to start your own podcast, there are other services called Podmatch. It will match you with another potential guest so you can get visibility without having to start your own podcast. Marketing is really showing up consistently where your future clients are hanging out and looking you up. You don't need a big budget. All you need is a point of view, the willingness to show up, and authenticity of your personal brand. So, I have a story. When COVID hit and everything shut down, I started a podcast called the Architect My Life podcast. It was Women in Architecture podcast because I wanted to build community from my basement and connect with women who were struggling during COVID. And it started really as a passion project, but I wanted to keep on connecting with fellow architects and to have real conversations during COVID, shared experiences, and create something useful to inspire other women as well. But I didn't really see it as marketing so much as creating connection. But what I didn't realize was that podcast really expanded my network, expanded my reach, and converted. Some of the guests became clients. And now that's probably the single reason why we've grown so much. When COVID hit, we were at 8 employees. Now, post COVID, post podcast, post marketing, we now have 60 employees and we're thriving. right? So what really started out as a passion project now has turned into one of the best marketing decisions that I've ever made. So today I have in my LinkedIn a community of over 5,000 followers, and MGS Global has, I think, around the same amount. If I didn't show up for my listeners, my work wouldn't be visible. No one will know who MGS Global was and the person behind it. That's why I'm saying, especially now in the age of AI, people need to know you. People need to know your work. People need to know your process. People need to know your dog, if you have one, your cat. Believe it or not, that works. So sharing your stories always work. It worked for me and it can work for you. It was really uncomfortable in the beginning, and be prepared for the learning curve. But I'm telling you, it's going to be the best marketing decision you'll ever do for your business. If you're running a growing architecture firm, you're probably not short on projects, you're short on people. Talent shortage is real. Finding and retaining skilled professionals takes time. Meanwhile, deadlines keep getting closer. And when you're balancing growth with quality, it gets harder to maintain your project standards as the work piles up. We are here to bridge the gap. We provide qualified architecture staff on demand so you can scale your delivery without compromising quality. That's what MGS Global Group does. Whether you're overwhelmed with construction documentation, need BIM support, or your internal systems just aren't built for this level of growth, our team plugs in seamlessly. Think of us as an extension of your in house team without the long hiring process. And because we work across time zones, your projects keep moving even after your office closes for the day. If your timelines are starting to feel stretched and your team's at capacity, visit mgsglobalgroup.com. We can get started in 24 hours. We're here to help you scale smarter and deliver faster with quality, consistency, and peace of mind. And the data supports that exactly why it works, right? In 2026, again, the Clarity Deltek report found out that leads generated from websites jumped 9 percentage points and now cited by 50% of firms as a real source of new business. Content marketing is at 41%. When I say content marketing, it's creating content to value other people. When I say content marketing, it's not selling your services online, it's creating content like how to guides or your behind the scenes or your process, sharing your knowledge to the other people so you can build trust so that your potential clients will know you and believe in your vision and buy in your vision. So the firms winning new work are building digital presence even before a client needs to know them. They're already creating content that the future client already has ready. The study says it directly. Firms that wait for an RFP to signal an opportunity are already behind. Like a podcast, a LinkedIn presence, a blog, that's really how you get in front of clients before the RFP ever lands, right? So even your LinkedIn banner, for instance, don't just have a beautiful photo there. You need to tell a story. That's also like one of the proof points for your potential clients to see you. You need to study LinkedIn a little more and check out how people are creating their banners. If you have a premium account, you can create a few banners, I think up to 5 banners. So you really use that real estate as your digital presence because you'll be surprised. In my case, I didn't really spend a lot of money. Our recording setup, like this microphone was like $90. And I have one person that helps me with my post production. There's a lot of people in Fiverr or services that can help you start a podcast or even help you with your reel creation. I mean, even my 19-year-old daughter can help me with my reels. Marketing does not have to be expensive. So one thing that I really suggest is to be clear on your messaging, and you really need to find your niche and build a strategy, be creative, and use digital platforms that is available to you and keep on going. It's like a muscle you have to build. I was talking to my COO the other last month, I think, and I said, I finally got it. I finally got the hang of podcasting after 6 years. So people might think I'm super comfortable on the podcast, but it really takes muscle memory and repetition to be comfortable on camera. So, how do you find your marketing strategy? How do you figure out what works for you? Here's the simplest way to start. When it's easy and you know your subject, it doesn't feel like work. If you have to work so hard to know your subject, that's work. What I mean is, you really need to find your niche. Ask yourself what excites you about your work. What could you talk about without running out of things to talk about? What do I really know that others struggle with? What do you know as a firm owner that other people are not familiar with? What are you the subject matter expert of? So write down your top three ideas. Pick one that feels the most natural and most connected to your work and the work that you want to be doing. So really find that thing that you don't even have to think, that's natural to you. You don't have to try so hard. So in your work, you need to find your niche. Second, be creative, not just consistent. So right now, attention is the most valuable asset. I don't know if you've experienced like looking at reels and all the hooks and Instagram. I mean, I'm getting burnt out actually from looking at all the things, right? But in a room full of similar looking firms, your creativity is what sets you apart and also your personality. So don't just show them your finished building, show your thinking, your process, like behind the scenes. I love that. I work with a director and a musician. Okay, I love the songs, the music videos that he produces, but he also has short clips of behind the scenes that is really phenomenal because you can see the artist at work, the genius at work. If for an architect, from sketching to going to the site to looking at art to looking at music to create your mood boards, that's really important for people to know, especially your potential client. So again, show your thinking, your process, your perspective. That's what makes people remember you. Step three, keep on going. You won't get 1,000 followers right away. You won't go viral in 1 week, but you need to be consistent. Your first one follower will lead to 100, will lead to 1,000. Not that we're talking numbers here, it's quantity over quality. So you need to really niche down on your content so your ideal customer will really come to you. I remember what my daughter said in passing before she went to college. Again, this is my interaction with my daughter that is not related to architecture, but you can relate it. And she said, to be able to attract your people, mom, you need to be authentic. That's what she said when I asked her, how do you have so many friends in college? And she's like, you need to be authentic to attract your people. The same thing in your practice. You need to be authentic to attract your potential clients that you really want to serve. And consistency beats perfection every single time. And here's why it matters so much more even right now. Again, according to the Deltek report, a lot of proposal volumes are up to 32% across the industry, but win rates are actually dropping to 49%. Win rates are dropping. The capture rates hit their lowest point since 2019. Firms are submitting more proposals and winning fewer of them. Why? Because volume without visibility is just noise. Like, again, try to analyze how many projects you win in a proposal. Skill and your portfolio and the building is not only what matters, but the visibility and your digital footprint. If you had architect A versus architect B, you have the same level playing field. But if they Google architect A, and architect A has been in 5 podcasts, has been in the speaker circuit for like spoken AIA and all the things, and publicizes it and goes to events and puts all his information on LinkedIn, versus architect B, who does amazing work but does not have a digital presence. They will pick architect A over architect B because, like I always say, people will look you up, I think, 7 times before they buy from you. So it's really important to build a digital footprint right now. So again, what I'm saying about finding your niche, be creative and keep on going, be consistent, we really in the end will help you build your pipeline when you least expect it. The simple truth, you don't need to be everywhere. You need to be somewhere consistently. Pick one platform, pick one format, show up regularly. That's a marketing strategy and it works. Just be consistent, pick one. I have a lot of platforms. I have a podcast, I have Instagram, LinkedIn, and each of my podcasts also have its separate Instagram account. We do reels, but I started with one platform and it was podcasting. So I hope that you think about your marketing strategy. I would love to hear from you. And marketing is really a passion project of mine. I mean, it's not a passion project. Marketing is really what I love to do because I know it really works. And that's why we're doing a 3-part series of this podcast, because the second one we're going to talk about is, I think, creating your marketing strategy. So before I go, I just wanted to share something that is not marketing related, but I'm going to share it anyway. It's May 12, 2026 right now. I know this is going to be published around next week, but people listening in the future will know what I'm talking about. World feels really wonky right now, and I don't just mean business. I'm sitting here talking to you about marketing and pipeline and visibility, and I mean every word of it. But underneath all of that, I feel something else too, like a different kind of tired, not the busy kind, but the uncertain kind. I also have a podcast called AI for Architects, but I feel personally that AI is moving so fast and that I'm feeling a little burnt out and AI burnout because I want to be so productive and there's so many AI tools out there. I'm so confused. I don't know if you're feeling the same way, but I'm feeling a little AI burnt out. So again, this is probably supposed to be in my AI podcast, but I just wanted to share from a business perspective because most business owners, architects are also tuning into the Architect My Business podcast. But here's what I keep coming back to. And the world is so loud, the world is so noisy, the gas prices are going up. Like if you're living in the Philippines or India or in Asia, like it's really tough right there because of the gas prices like are so expensive. People can't even get to work. But these are the things that we cannot control, the economy, what's going on in the world, geopolitics. So that's the kind of burnout I'm talking about, not the burnout from not having a pipeline, but overstimulation, so much social media, so much news. Like it's a lot going on. But one of the things that I want to always come back to as an entrepreneur business owner who's also a mom, who also runs a business internationally, and I'm also trying to juggle a lot, like a lot of us. What I really come back to is The Circle of Influence by Stephen Covey. For you who don't know what the circle of influence is, it's really the idea is simple. There are things in your life that you're concerned about but can't control, like the economy, AI disruption, global uncertainty. That's your circle of concern. But then there are things that you can actually do something about: how you show up, how you communicate, how you build relationships, how visible you make yourself in your market. That's your circle of influence. That's the thing you can control. So this is what got me through COVID, actually, the circle of concern, which I can't do anything about COVID. I can't do anything about gas prices or the architecture and construction slowdown. But what I can control is your circle of influence. What can I influence? So, one of the things, which is why I brought this full circle, is you can start marketing your services right now. You can start showing up on social media. You can share stories. So, that's what I'm talking about, taking control. And that's your circle of influence. So when we spend all our energy in the circle of concern, worrying about things that we can't control, we shrink. And when our mindset is that disruptive and disrupted, it's hard for us to take action. We get paralyzed, we get distracted, and that's exactly when marketing stops, visibility stops, the pipeline quietly dries up. But when we pull our focus back into the circle of influence, again, it's a lot of mindset when you're an entrepreneur. You really need to be strong for your employees, for your team. Even if your bank account is suffering, you can't lose hope. You just have to keep on going. And when we commit to the things we can control, we actually grow. So even in uncertain times, and especially in uncertain times. So yes, the world is a little wonky right now. I feel that. I acknowledge it. Right now, I'm talking about it more from the lens of a mom who has a 19-year-old daughter in college, and I have a 16-year-old son. In 2 years, he'll enter college. And this whole AI situation, no jobs for the new kids, is college education even a thing? Those are the things that are keeping me awake sometimes at night. And this is why I'm talking about what can we control? What is our circle of influence right now? So, yes, like I said, if the world is a lot right now, but what you can control is the way you react to things. Let go of the other things. But since this is a marketing podcast, keep marketing your work. Okay. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Architects, you need to stop treating marketing as an afterthought and start applying it with the same dedication you give to all your floor plans, design, and the building and all of the construction documents that you're doing. Marketing isn't really separate from your craft. It needs to be it's in service of it. So to be able to be responsible entrepreneurs, business owners, bosses, firm owners, it is actually our responsibility to market our services because we also are employers and we have we're responsible for our team. So, yeah, don't ever underestimate the value of marketing. And again, you don't need a huge budget. If you have a cell phone and good quality sound, just share your stories. In the next episode, I'm going to walk you through how to actually implement your marketing strategy, practical tactics for creating content. And if this episode resonated with you, please share with an architect who needs to hear it. Leave a review, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Architect My Business podcast. If you want more, head over to architectmybusiness.com for more episodes, show notes, and links to everything mentioned in this episode. Don't forget to catch our mini shows, Her Space, Ask Aya, and our main show, Architect My Business. If you enjoyed our episodes and want to hear more, please leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Your feedback really helps us grow. Stay tuned for the next episode. Bye!